I'd like to call to order the town council meeting, regular meeting for May 25. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mike Aurelio is absent. Brian Blazak.
Present.
Wayne Pondinas.
Present.
Michael Schilling.
Here.
Gerald Swetz.
Present.
Joe Wizawati.
Here.
David Westland is virtual. And Beth Hernandez present.
Okay, we have a quorum. Item number 3 on the agenda is public comment. Mr. Dale Robert.
Dale Robert, 11990 Heron Lick Road. I've lived in Indiana my whole life. Apparently, something's wrong here. Social media is good and it's bad. Right now, it's really bad. I notice Jerry says here you talk about the town of St. John. That's all we talk about. We don't talk about somebody's birthday party. I was very disturbed to see the racist remarks that are posted on social media. Once you post it, you're a racist. Apparently you guys didn't do your due diligence. Apparently you didn't do everything you should have done, except for Wayne. He questioned a few things, especially a $100,000 salary. Sure, I'm not a racist anymore. I got $100,000 coming in. To me, it's sick, and the circus got to end. It should end before November, because we know in November it will. Thank you.
Bill Manasopoulos.
Bill Manasopoulos, 10011 Parish. I just got a couple of things to address tonight. Jerry, when asked at one of the last meetings about following Robert's rule, about addressing just you and nobody else on the council, nowhere in Robert's rule of order does it say all questions must be addressed to you. You must be addressed, and then you can ask the questions of anyone on the council. So if you need, and not being smart or anything, but if you need a copy of it, I've been reading it up, and after I'm done, I'd like to hand that over to you. The agenda tonight also shows about you're looking to grant some special exemptions to the overlay district. As a resident, I don't have any problems with the Shrine of Christ Passion area for an exemption, but we're giving exemptions to and putting in our TIF district nail salons. I'm not too sure where that came from. We have an EDC board that should be bringing in businesses, but we're busy keeping them busy with festivals and everything else, even though we've hired a festival coordinator to do that. And then, Jerry, on one of your Facebook posts lately, you stated you were no longer discussing an issue in public. I think that's insane. You were elected to listen to every person and every resident. I don't care what the complaint is. Potholes, comments on Facebook, traffic, water, it doesn't matter. It's your job. It might be your job just until January 1st. But if that's the way you're going to continue running this as a president, I think you need to do the town a favor and everyone else and go ahead and resign. Thank you.
Okay, with no other comment, we will move on to item number 4, which is approval of the minutes. You have in front of you the regular meeting minutes from April 27, the special meeting on May 11th, and the special study session on May 11th. Questions or comments on the minutes?
Yeah, on the study session, the special study session on May 11th, I made comments when Chief LeDuc was speaking, and that was the fire truck that's going to come up for purchase. And I made some comments about going into a fire territory, and I didn't think that was a good idea to get a fire truck if we were going to go into a fire territory, and we're going to spend taxpayer money on that, and then it's going to end up in somebody else's fire station. So that's not included in there that I could see when I read the minutes. and I've questioned the minutes before. Some of the stuff that I say is not put in there, and I wonder why. I thought that's important, so I'm not going to pass those minutes. I'll pass the other two. I'll okay that.
Okay.
But if something I said, I think it should be in there. So if they want to correct that, that's fine.
So, no, okay. Any other questions or comments? Then I will entertain a motion. Wayne, would you prefer we did these one at a time?
Yeah, we can do one at a time. That would be good. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Do I have a motion for the regular meeting minutes for April 27th?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Is there support for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is approved 4-0. The special meeting on May 11th. Do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Is there support for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those are approved 4-0. And then the special study session minutes from May 11th. Do I have a motion on that?
So moved. Make a motion to defer.
Okay, I have a motion to defer. Is there support for that?
I'll support.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. Those are deferred by a vote of 4-0. Okay. We move on to item number 5, old business, which we have none. Item number 6, 6A, financial matters, the corporation, RTPs.
We have 6 RTPs, 1 from Dixon Engineering, 2 from Austin Electric, 2 from Ferguson Waterworks, and 1 from Nearmap US Incorporated, totaling $139,152.
Questions or comments on the RTPs? Then I will entertain a motion to approve and the RTPs as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Mike. Is there support
Second.
for that? Thank you, Brian. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is approved 4-0. Item 6A2 is the motion, I'm sorry, the voucher in front of you for dated May 25 for the payments, supplies, equipment, and services rendered to the town of St. John for a combined total of $2,801,246.31. Questions or comments on the docket?
Just a quick correction on the docket. Under, is it Premier? Yeah, it is Premier. Hold on just a second. So make sure I got the right one. So under Premier Trophies, there's an escrow refund on 5/20/2022. It says Premier Trophies. This should actually be Premier Construction Group. Just probably a vendor glitch.
It was corrected, it's just the reprinted copy's not in here.
Okay. Just to let the council know.
Okay, so those have been corrected, okay. Thank you. On all 3 of those?
No, just the one.
It's
The
just, I
escrow
thought it was
refund.
just one.
Yeah, it was just a,
Okay, okay, all right, thank you. All right, so do I have a motion to approve the docket?
I'll make a motion to approve the docket for $2,801,246.31.
Thank you, Wayne, is there support for that?
Second.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That is approved 4-0. Item 6A3 is a purchase of the rescue engine through Sourcewell.
yeah, so this was brought before the council at our last study session. Fire chief made the presentation. With respect to this is going through Sourcewell, so it doesn't require competitive bidding. After speaking with the clerk treasurer today with respect to the amount of available balance that we have in the cumulative fire fund, we would have within the next 2 years the required amount. The build out for this truck is going to be some 600 days. So as it stands, I believe, Beth, it was 460 in cumulative fire that's unencumbered. and we're expecting about $190,000 for each of the next 2 years for cumulative fire.
Okay. Questions or comments?
Yeah, same comments I had earlier.
Yeah.
If we're gonna go into a fire territory, do we need to buy a fire truck?
That's
And
good.
how's that gonna affect the town and the taxpayers? Because if that's set up where a fire truck goes somewhere else, and then what's the safety board put in on this? I know Chief Leduc came in last month. It takes a while to do the specs for this fire truck, so how did he get to that? Did he have any input? And did the fire and safety board have part of that? Because there are some firemen on that board that could put in their input. So I don't know if we could table this and get some more answers from Chief Leduc. It just seems like we're rushing that. In a month's time, we're gonna try and spend $803,000, $827 on a fire truck. And it's gonna take 2 years to get, and there was some concern about the interest rates and stuff, and we should act now, but are we acting too soon and too fast?
Unfortunately, Chief Leduc isn't here. If we do not approve it this month, then the price is gonna go up 4% next month. As far as paying for it now and whatever, and the question, because I had that same question regarding the fire district.
Right.
And so we can either pay cash for it in 2 years when it comes, or we can actually lease it in 2 years when it comes. And we really don't have to make that decision now. We can make that decision before we take delivery. If we decide to go ahead and if we decide we're gonna go into a fire district, we can lease it and then we can transfer that billing over to the fire district. If we pay cash, that would be a different situation. So I think, I don't have an answer to your question today, but as far as
Right, and-
how we're gonna pay for it, but I think it does need to be approved.
Well, it's gonna be paid for out of the fire cumulative fund. Okay, that's money collected
Well-
for the purchase of fire trucks. Now, if we do go to a fire territory, what would that money remaining in that fund be able to be spent for? Because you're only able to spend that on fire equipment.
Not really, but yes. So the CUME Fire Fund can be used for public safety equipment. It doesn't just have to be used for fire equipment, but since it is a cumulative fire fund, it might be best practice to go that route. I don't know the answers to what would happen with that fund if you decided to go into a fire territory. The only thing that I would caution you on, I understand that the truck won't be ready for 2 years, but if you're planning on paying it with cash, that is going to be something you need to think about for budget season, because you obviously can't set the type of budget that's being used now if you're going to be earmarking that money for the fire truck. So basically, that budget is going to be essentially depleted, in my opinion, over the next 2 years. So
Right.
then all those funds that he spends now have to come from a different place.
Right, and I,
So they're-
to Beth's point, I just had this conversation with Chief Leduc and expressed exactly what she's talking about, is that money is going to have to be earmarked. It's not money that can be used for operational expenses or supplementing. One of the requests in his ARPA fund request was for equipment, which would offset the budgetary requirement for next year. But to your point, you can't use the, fire cume if it's already earmarked for this. So, and I did make him aware of that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is even if we go into the fire territory, which is very early stages now, we don't even know if that's something that we would go into.
Right, and if it, honestly,
This money that
if it
is
doesn't start
collected-
by July, Mike, if the fire territory doesn't start by July, it's not going to be able to move forward during that process. So it's going to be another year before that, so.
And
So
you were correct, Mike. The fire territory, you could lease it to them. Therefore, you would face no possible losses because you would lease it with the understanding.
I know, but I'm talking about though is the money that is going to be paid for it. We have $490,000 in
Correct.
a cumulative fire now,
Well, 460.
460.
Not including what they still have to spend on their budget. So,
But that money has to go for fire equipment, even if we go into a fire territory. I know in the past they've bought police cars out of the fire cumulative, but then when they got the money back, they had to replenish the fire cumulative fund because it's for fire equipment.
But in 2020, I think when the other fire chief, Chief Willman left, I think they had 1.2 million in there, 1.5 million, and they spent it down pretty fast.
Well, that was to pay off the fire truck that they bought.
And I don't know
5
where
years ago.
that money went, if that's where it went, Mike, but 460,000, and they still have to take out what they put in on the sleeping quarters for the upstairs, and that was about 25,000. So we're down to maybe 430,000 on that. And are we going too fast, too soon to get another fire truck, even to get in line for it with the fire territory coming in?
Well, it's on the 5-year plan, so I'm ready to move forward with it. So, any other questions or comments? Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to authorize the purchase of Suppen Extreme Duty Custom Rescue Truck through Sourcewell in the amount of $803,827 even.
Thank you, Brian. Is there support for that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay.
Hey,
That is approved 3-1. Item number 6A4, motion to authorize agreement with Marquee Event Rentals for the Freedom Fest celebration. Joe?
Yeah, this is for the tent rental for the event. You got copies of the amounts in your packet.
Okay. Questions or comments? So then I will entertain a motion to authorize the agreement with Marquee Events Rentals for the Freedom Fest celebration as itemized in this quote.
Need a motion? I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Mike.
Second.
Thank you, Brian. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
nay.
It is approved 3-1.
Mr. Swets, if possible, or Joe, can you see if you can have that tax removed off this proposal?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. Item 6B, Resolution 2022-05-25A. Joe or Beth? Who's handling this one?
The oh, go ahead, Beth.
Yeah, this is a housekeeping item. We do it a few times a year. It's where departments will move money from one line to another line in lieu of having to request additional appropriations.
Okay. Any questions on 2022-05-25A?
No, I mean anything.
Okay. Then I
I'll
will,
make a motion to consider resolution number 2022-05-25A.
thank you, Mike. Is there support for that?
Second.
Thank you, Brian. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is approved 4-0.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution. Do we need a second on that or no?
Nope,
All right.
that was part of your motion. As a resolution, yeah, that was passed. It only takes one vote.
All right.
Item 6C, motion to approve special exception for personal service use. Joe?
Yeah, so this was approved by planning, so this is before you, I'm sorry, zoning. This was approved as a exception to the US 41 overlay district. This is for personal service use within that district for a stretch lab that they want to put in there at,
Nope, you're on the wrong one.
I'm sorry, one ahead, sorry.
Item C.
Yeah, so this one's for the nail salon, next one's for the stretch lab. But these were both unanimously approved.
Okay. And this is in the Lake Central Plaza area.
Correct.
And this comes with a favorable recommendation
Yes,
from the BZA.
and the minutes and everything were included in the packet as well.
Okay. Questions or comments on this special exception? And I look for a motion to approve the special exception for the nail salon.
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Support for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
It is approved 3-1. Item number D is to approve the special exception to allow the personal service use for the stretch lab. Joe?
Yeah, so this is the same thing. It came with a favorable recommendation from the ZBA. So it's before the council tonight for approval.
Okay.
What is a stretch lab?
Where they do stretching techniques and, you know, that kind of thing. It's a new thing that they've got going on right now. So they're doing this for like physical, occupational therapy, that kind of thing.
Supposedly, this is the new happening thing for, and I hate to say this, but for the elderly.
Yeah, well, I
They
didn't want to go there,
recommend
but
it,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Brian.
This,
Oh. Wow.
Thanks, buddy.
this is not a tax exempt organization, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the special exception to allow the stretch lab at 10033 Wicker Avenue?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Support for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Nay.
It is approved 3-1. Item number E is to approve a variance to allow a dance school in the commercial overlay district at 8385 Wicker. Joe?
Yeah, so this is to allow a dance school for the location here. In fact, the dance instructor is a very talented young lady. She taught my kid years ago, so I wish her well. I think she'd be a good addition to the town, but this is for the, this came with a favorable recommendation from zoning as well.
Okay. Questions or comments? Then I am looking for a motion to approve the use variance to allow the dance studio at the property of 8385 Wicker Avenue.
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Support for that?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That is approved 4-0. Item number F, use variance to allow outdoor amusement establishment at the overlay district at 10630 Wicker Avenue. Joe?
Yeah, this is for the, it's for the shrine, yeah, I'm sorry, Christ's Passion. So this is for the approval for the use variance. This was approved unanimously by the zoning, sorry, my bad.
BZA? Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Questions or comments?
Yeah, why do they call it amusement center? Or establishment?
Because that's
I
the,
mean, I know they got special wording for the overlay, but
right, it's the specific use that was intended.
I think that's how the state classifies it, does it not?
It's where it kind of fits in,
Correct.
yeah.
Okay. If there are no other comments, I will look for a motion to approve the variance to allow the outdoor amusement establishment at 10630 Wicker Avenue.
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. There's support for that.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That is approved 4-0. Item number G, letter of credit for Greystone. Joe?
I'm trying to find that. Hang on just a second. So this is basically the next two items are the acceptance of the letter of credit. Those were included in your packets. If you have any specific questions, we can discuss those.
Looks pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Questions or comments? Let's take them one at a time at Greystone. Unit 3, Block 2.
So moved.
Thank you. Support for that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is approved 4-0. And number H is a motion to accept the letter of credit on the preserves, which is similar to what we just discussed. Questions or comments on the preserves? Then I will entertain a motion to
So
accept the letter of
moved.
credit. Thank you, Brian. Is there support for that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, say nay. That is approved 4-0. Item number I is a motion to approve the license and agreement with Harry and Catherine Snell. Joe?
So this is for licensing agreement with the Snells. They are the property owners that are adjacent to the ice arena to the south. This will allow us to use a portion of their property. We'll have it marked off at pretty much like what happened last year. So they're allowing us to do that. They signed the agreement on that today, so.
Okay, questions or comments?
When did they sign it, Joe?
Today,
As, what time?
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3:30.
Because when I was in the office with Jennifer trying to pick up
It
mine,
was,
she said they hadn't signed it yet,
they
so.
hadn't, in fact, it was brought in after you.
Okay,
Bobby Davis brought it in, so,
okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, it's signed on the back, Wayne, it shows the signatures.
No, but
But, I
he
was-
picked up, he had picked
I-
up his packet
I didn't
before
get that.
we got that.
So, at the time I picked up my packet, it wasn't signed, so
Correct.
that's why I question it.
All right, that's fine. All right, so do we have a motion to approve the license and agreement with Harry and Catherine Snell?
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Is there support for that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed,
Aye.
say nay. That is approved 4-0. Item J is to accept the proposal with Soccer Shots.
Yeah, so this is just accepting the proposal for Soccer Shots. They pretty much run the program. There's nothing that the board or the council has to sign.
Right. Questions or comments on the Soccer Shots proposal program? Then I will entertain a motion to accept the proposal with Soccer Shots.
So moved.
Thank you, Brian. Support for that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mike. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. That is approved 4-0. Reports and correspondence. Town council. Wayne?
Everything's going good with the SCADA system. The valves on the Monix treatment plant are getting changed out, and the Gates treatment plant, they were in bad shape, so there's more work to do on that. SCADA system is just about up and running. Everything's going good with it. Everything else is good.
Okay. I did have a question that came in about the water mains, if there's a schedule, because I know we did I think we did an $8 million bond to do the SCADA system and improve some of the water and sewer mains.
Yeah, the $8 million bond was for the wells 8 and 9 to do a water main project in front of the old decor tile, which was about $1.5 million, and then some water main projects. The water main projects came in too high. We had 3 people come in for the meeting, or 3 construction companies. We had one give a bid. We figured it was too high. The one that we wanted to do was a water main between Primrose and Magnolia, and we asked them to redo that. That came in high again, so I think the board decided that let's just wait and maybe rebid it in the spring and see. There's a problem getting contractors to do the work. Nobody wants to bid on some things, and they don't have, even if they wanted to bid, they don't have people to work. So, and then supplies are going up sky high.
Right. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mike, anything?
I don't have anything.
Brian?
No, sir.
No, I have nothing either. Beth?
We completed our fund conversion as required by State Board of Accounts yesterday. All departments have received the new fund numbers, which they didn't translate exactly as we had hoped, so it's going to be a learning curve for everybody because all the fund numbers are different, but that is complete, and so the reports that I sent out provide you a cheat sheet that you can use until we're up and running and have that memorized. And I think that's just about it for me.
Okay. Joe?
Thank you. So Public Works has been out handling several water main breaks the last couple of weeks. I want to thank Bob Davis and his crews for getting the job done. Public Works has also been working on getting street drains, culverts, ditches cleaned throughout town, in addition to street sweeping with our new street sweeper. They've been replacing street lights, conducting 1,117 utility locates, mowing and trimming leaf and branch pickups, replacing, repairing, and installing water meters, and performing regular maintenance checks on our lift stations. Crews completed locating and identifying water mains on 93rd Avenue at US 41, filled potholes at Heartland Park entrance, installed speed limit signs and snow signs at the gates. Our police department is hoping to swear in our lateral transfers within the next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, so 2 or 3 weeks. They've passed their physical, psychological, and background checks. Also, the police department submitted a COPS grant for additional personnel. We will expect to hear back from them sometime in the fourth quarter of this year. The fire department is in the process of establishing a list for candidates to hire as the previous list has expired. On behalf of the St. John Fire Department, they want to thank the council for moving forward on the fire truck. The department is working on specifications for a new ambulance as well, but that might be a little bit more complicated, seeing as how funds have already been pledged out of the fire cum. So those discussions will be ongoing with the fire chief. The town council, we're going to be having a study session to discuss the departmental request for ARPA. Once we review these, we will prioritize these requests and pare down the list from the request. I have a copy of the departmental requests in a narrative format to each of you by next week. Budget discussions will continue in June, and we'll be setting up a meeting with Senator Dalton and the clerk treasurer very soon. Finally, the St. John VFW Post 717 will be holding a Memorial Day service this Monday at 8:15 in the back here. There will be a brief service of remembrance for all those who have given their lives in the service of our country. The council, clerk treasurer, and all residents are invited to attend. Thank you.
Thank you,
In the
Joe.
back, you mean Civic Park?
Yes.
Mr. Westland, do you have anything?
No, not at this time, thanks.
Okay. Then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.